staying on Kwon's Terra ecosystem revival plan 2 is underway. Welcome to the Daily Forkast May 19th, 2022. I'm Megha Chaddah of Forkast, covering all things blockchain. Many members of the Terra community expressed their frustration at a lack of communication on the vote yesterday. But things finally got moving just after 7 p.m. Hong Kong time Wednesday. And contrary to a preliminary vote, it looks like things are going Kwon's way so far. We'll take a look at that plus a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Let's kick off in India as the country is intensifying its efforts to tax crypto traders. According to a local media report, the Indian government may impose a reverse charge goods and services tax or GST on cryptocurrency investors using foreign exchanges. A reverse charge would levy GST on the investor instead of the service provider. Crypto transactions on Indian exchanges are currently subject to 18% GST. If this tax comes into effect, Indian investors trading on foreign crypto platforms may pay 30% tax on income generated from such trades, 1% tax deducted at source or TDS, as well as the GST reverse charge. India's crypto tax law took effect last April. Over in the markets, Bitcoin's increasing correlation with risk assets saw it getting caught up in the overnight market sell-off in the United States. Investors dumped shares in both Target and Walmart after the retailers cautioned over possibly taking a margin hit from not being able to pass on price increases to customers. While the largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, Bitcoin, fell as much as 4.4%, with Ethereum losing 6.2% in the 24 hours to Thursday morning in Asia. Altcoins Cardano and Solana fared worse, both falling over 12% overnight before recovering slightly Thursday morning Asia time. Tony Sycamore, senior market analyst of Citi Index, said, while the market will remain bearish in the medium term, the overnight sell-off brings into question the expectation for a short covering rally in the S&P 500 towards the 4,200 to 4,300 resistance area. He also warns of nervous times ahead. Bitcoin's 4.4% fall echoed that seen in major US indices, with both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq closing down by more than 4%. And speaking to Forecast in this week's Word on the Block, Ronit Ghosh of Citi Global Insights gave his thoughts on the continuing correlation.
Recently, there was a big increase in the correlation of US money supply, or the change in US money supply in the last couple of years in crypto and Bitcoin in particular. And so maybe it's not so much that the stock market was correlated with Bitcoin, it's that both Bitcoin and the stock market was correlated with US money supply or with global credit creation. It's a risk asset. And part of it goes back to your technology question. It's about the future.
The full episode of Word on the Block, where Ghosh takes a deep dive into virtual assets and the Metaverse, is tomorrow, so do check it out. Now let's get an update on the situation with Terra. The much anticipated vote on Kwon's proposal for reviving the Terra ecosystem got underway Wednesday evening in Asia, with early voting positive towards the plan. However, it's not all plain sailing for Kwon, with details of a special tax investigation into both him and fellow Terraform Labs co-founder Shin Hyung-sung that took place last year now revealed. Forecast Danny Park reports.
The vote on what Do Kwon called the updated and final Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan 2 went live shortly after 7 p.m. Hong Kong time on Wednesday. As of Thursday morning in Asia, over 87% of votes were in favor. However, only 33% of the possible votes had been cast, with 40% required to form a quorum. That's in sharp contrast with a preliminary vote which the community began before the finalized version of the plan was posted. Of almost 7,000 participants in that vote, 92% were against. There are 6 days left for voters to make their decision, with Kwon's plan indicating that the new network will launch on May 27th if approved. In the meantime, a local media report has revealed that a special tax investigation into Kwon and fellow Terraform Labs co-founder Shin Hyun-sung took place last June. Based on the results of the investigation, South Korea's National Tax Service reportedly completed the collection of tens of billions of won in corporate and income taxes omitted by the company and its two co-founders. The investigation seems to have centered on charges that they evaded taxes by not reporting some income and gifts related to the issuance of virtual currency through corporations in overseas tax havens. One expert told Forecast that such investigations may lead to greater scrutiny.
당연히 많이 이루어지고 더 나아가서 이제 유사 비슷한 사업을 하는 곳에도 이제 감시의 눈길이 많이 가겠죠. 예.
So might the closure of Terraform's offices in Seoul and Busan, which happened at the end of April, be related to this investigation?
연관이 있고요. 예. 그래서 이제 극단적으로 얘기하면 이제 한국 국적을 포기하고도 살 수가 있는 상황이 되겠고, 그렇게 되면은 이제 과세 문제가 더 어려워지니까, 그러니까 추가로 밝혀지는 상황이 있다 그래도 과세할 수 없으니까 그 부분은 이제 정리하기 위해서 나갔다 이렇게 보여지죠.
Meanwhile, South Korean investors who suffered financial damages are reportedly seeking legal action and applying for property seizure from Do Kwon. According to Yonhap, local law firm LKB and Partners has made a tentative decision to file the complaint to the Financial Crime Investigation Team under the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency or Seoul Southern District Prosecutor's Office. The law firm is reportedly also reviewing a lawsuit against Shin Hyun-sung, the other co-founder of Terraform Labs, who claims to have departed the project in 2020. Chai Corporation, a South Korean payments firm which Shin now serves as CEO of, has now notified users on its website that it is not associated with Terraform Labs and its related cryptocurrencies, and there will be no impact. According to Korea's Financial Services Commission, there are around 280,000 investors holding about 70 billion Luna tokens in the country. For Forecast, I'm Danny Park.
The Terra UST collapse is dominating the headlines, and efforts by Luna Foundation Guard to defend the UST dollar peg by diluting its reserves has gone in vain. With thousands having lost their investments, questions are being raised about the actual stability of algorithmic stablecoins as well as the new economy powered by crypto. Let's get in Mark Lamb's views on all these events. He's the Chief Executive Officer at CoinFlex, which also operates FlexUSD, which is an interest-bearing stablecoin. It's great to have you with us, Mark.
Great to be here.
Mark, you're closely involved in the world of stablecoins. What do you think were the flaws in the Terra UST program that led to its downfall?
The problem with Terra is it was a volatile-backed stablecoin. So when we talk about algorithmic stablecoins, any set of instructions, even if Circle programs their USDC backing with algorithms, you could consider an algorithmic stablecoin. The problem with Terra wasn't the fact that there were algorithms involved, it was the fact that the collateral was not worth the dollar. And there was no mechanism to really ensure that the collateral was always going to be worth the dollar. There was a mechanism to ensure that you could convert UST into $1 worth of Luna, but there's no mechanism to ensure that Luna is going to be worth enough to allow all UST holders to get out. And that's the fundamental problem here. Luna's market cap for a long time was much greater than the market cap of UST. So if anyone wanted to redeem UST, they could simply do so by converting into $1 worth of Luna tokens, burning their UST and minting new Luna tokens. And the demand and supply for Luna is also very what's called reflexive, where the more UST creations there are, the more buying of Luna there happens, but the more redemption, the more selling happens because new Luna gets minted. And so this was a chain reaction of a loss of confidence. And UST and Luna was very, very vulnerable to this chain reaction of a loss of confidence. Lots of people predicted it. It was widely discussed. But it was something that the Terra community and the Luna community made a big effort to suppress.
Let's talk about Do Kwon's revival plans for Terra. They initially called it a fork and then took that word off. What's your take?
I think it's going to be very difficult once you have people that have lost so much confidence for them to get confidence in a new type of regime. And I think it's honorable for Do and for others in the Luna community to try and do something. But it is also a difficult proposition when people feel like a promise has been betrayed. And specifically that promise is around UST being worth $1. A stablecoin has a very simple mission, a very simple goal, being worth the dollar. And so I think what Do Kwon, the issue he'll run into is, will people trust his promises again? Because he told people that this was a stablecoin. So now he's trying to say, well, we're going to recreate Luna and have Luna be an ecosystem thing. Well, trust in crypto is like trust in the world. It's very slow to build. When it builds up, it's magnificent, and you can lose it all in 5 minutes.
Now, central bankers and regulators have been wary of cryptocurrencies, and with the downfall of Terra UST, whether we look at the United States or China, we've got government or government-linked voices upping the ante against the risks posed by crypto. What could this mean in terms of regulation?
Janet Yellen is pressuring the Congress to create new laws, not just regulations, but new laws around stablecoins. And I think that's actually going to give the US the regulatory certainty around stablecoins that is needed for entrepreneurs to feel confident to build stablecoins in the US. The US already regulates stablecoins. The top major stablecoins are all regulated by the US. It's going in that direction. It's going to go further in that direction. And we want it to go in that direction too, because we're on the side of transparency, accountability, auditability, and having these things be secure tokens that people can build businesses on and build DeFi applications on and rely on. And that's what we're trying to do with FlexUSD. So I think the scary thing would be as if Janet Yellen and the Fed and other parts of the US government were taking a carte blanche, this is a bad idea, we should shut it down, we should end it approach. And we're super encouraged. They're not doing that. It's amazing to see.
Well, this is a story that continues to unfold, and we will be tracking it very closely. Great conversation and insights as always, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.
And that's the Daily Forecast from our vantage point right here in Asia. For more, visit Forecast.news. I'm Forecast Megha Chaddah. Until next time.